So the CDC has put out a statement with suggestions for schools regarding corona. The CDC is the Center of Disease Control, so we should take them seriously, right? Because the name sounds like they know what they're doing. So like a week to 2 weeks ago from when this video is being uploaded, they made a whole article about stuff to do with corona and safety measures to take when you go back to school, and it's all kind of been compiled into this one post that was going around a little bit. It didn't gain much traction. I didn't see it everywhere, but it was a few places. But looking into the post is completely accurate with what the CDC says. The post just compiles some of the more ridiculous things that the CDC said to follow. So I thought we'd go through the funny ones and see what we're supposed to do to stay safe. And this is real. This is to stay safe, guys. So let's just jump right into this. So this says new CDC guidelines for reopening schools. Wear masks over the age of 2. All right. So if you're not 2 and you're going back to school, you don't have to wear a mask. To my fans watching who are 3 and 4 years old, I'm sorry, but you have to wear a mask. I can't imagine everyone wearing a mask in school. I feel like if it's really necessary for safety, we can do it, but it's just hard to imagine, really enforcing that rule and everyone obeying it. But I guess if you're 1, you don't have to do it. So to the 1-year-olds out there, this rule doesn't apply to you. You don't have to follow. I also wonder why 2 and up. Maybe it's dangerous for a baby to wear a mask. No sharing of items or supplies, all belongings in individual cubbies or labeled containers. So we can't even borrow a pencil now without risking getting corona. It's just funny to me that if you pull out a pack of gum and someone says, yo, can I get some gum? Giving them the stick of gum is now like you broke a rule, like you're gonna get sent to the principal's office. Yeah, I got detention. Dude, what did you do? My friend needed an eraser, so I gave him the eraser. Desks 6 feet apart, all facing the same way. So if you're someone who likes to face the back of the classroom, sorry, no more. I thought desks already all face the same way, but I mean, okay, sure. I also did some math and I didn't write it down, so you're just gonna have to trust me, but for the average space a classroom has, if the desks were 6 feet apart, we would only be able to have 25 desks at max, minus the area needed for the teachers' desks. And what about science labs with the lab stations? I don't know. The biggest thing is if your classroom has desks facing the 4 cardinal directions, you can't do that anymore. Yeah, y'all gotta face north. Distance on school buses. Think about this. 1 child per seat, skip rows. In a school bus, you can have 2 kids max in a seat. So 1 kid max means we're already cutting it in half, right? And then skipping rows. So every other row, that's cutting it in half again. So we need 4 times as much buses because we're cutting it down so much. That's ridiculous. Yeah, so I ran some calculations on this one, and my hypothesis is that 0% of schools will follow this rule. That's 100 buses pulling up to the school. It's like an army, dude. So we have to install sneeze guards wherever we can't space 6 feet apart. It makes me wonder, what about gym class? How are we supposed to have gym class? And if we really take corona super seriously, when the school year opens up, I feel like it's a possibility that we just won't have gym class. It'll be replaced with health or something. One-way routes in hallways, tape on sidewalks and walls to ensure kids stay 6 feet apart. Okay, first of all, if your high school is anything like my high school, staying 6 feet apart in the hallway is not achievable. That's just not a thing that's going to happen. So that one's cut, but we can look at the first half of this rule. One-way routes, I do kind of like this one. If they could find a way to make kids have to keep moving, that'd be nice. But yeah, also one-way hallways, it just feels so elementary. Is that really necessary? How will that help us stop corona? I don't know. No communal shared spaces, and they say, for example, cafeterias and playgrounds. Right, so I haven't been on a school playground since 6th grade, so that's not really an issue, but cafeteria, we don't get to eat food now? What do we, So I feel like we're gonna have to go get the school lunch and then bring it back to our classroom, which I just feel like that's so awkward. Especially if it's a teacher you don't like. I've had teachers I don't like and then we get to leave for lunch and it's just like a break, and now like I have to eat and look at their face. I feel like lunch is like a break from school, and now it's not. You know, I did date a girl who still had recess. I mean, this sucks for her, I guess. You know, no recess for her. That's unfortunate. But yeah, I don't know if that's going in the video. Physical barriers or screens between sinks and bathrooms. I mean, okay, like, I guess, like, yeah. Only pre-packaged boxes or bags of food instead of cafeteria food kids eat in classrooms. Right, so the school lunch is already as bad as it is, so you will not catch me eating pre-packaged food. Oh yeah, and kids eating in classrooms. Okay, so I guess I'm like not capable of reading because I guess I didn't see that when I first went over this, so I don't know. No field trips, assemblies, or external organizations in the schools. Limit volunteers and visitors. No field trips kind of sucks. I mean, in elementary school and middle school, like, field trips are always cool. You know, you always hype when you know you're going on a field trip. The New York trip that my class took one time, that was crazy. Same children stay with the same staff all day, no switching groups or teachers. Yeah, so I feel like you can't really do this with high school. Like, the teachers teach a certain subject and you can't really expect them to be able to teach other stuff. And elementary school really already does this, so maybe middle school will follow this, I don't know. I feel like my teachers don't know anything outside of what they're supposed to teach. They know that one subject. Like, you can't expect like a math teacher to teach AP Europe history. Like, they're not gonna know that. The math isn't even the same in Europe. So what? We have to stagger arrival and departure times for students to limit exposure to crowds of kids. What? So I'll be driving to school next year, and it makes me wonder, like, is there like a certain time that I'll have to pull up to the school? Like, if my arrival time is like 7:03 and I get to the school like 7:01, am I gonna be sent back because I didn't stagger my arrival time? You know, I didn't follow the rule. And staggered departure just seems kind of stupid. You know, I feel like it's more ideal to just get the kids out of the school and home as soon as possible. You know, having them stay and wait, I don't think that'll help at all. What if I miss my arrival time? Like, do I just not show up, or do I get there late? Like, I feel like if I get there late, there's gonna be too much of a crowd, right? And then I'm breaking CDC rules. So I don't know. Daily health and temperature checks. Yeah, so not only will I have to arrive at school at 7:03, no later, no less, but when I get there, there's also going to be a nurse, thermometer in hand, just waiting for me to walk into school. Yeah, our school will definitely not be doing daily temperature checks. That's ridiculous. That's crazy. I also ran some calculations for this one, and my hypothesis is that 0% of schools will follow this one. And if a school does follow this rule, that would just take so long. Having to check the temperature of 1,000 kids, I don't even understand how you're supposed to do that. Because all jokes aside, there's no way a school can implement this. And it's not just temperature checks, it's health checks too, which is so vague. Like, how healthy do I have to be to pass? What health checks are they checking, you know? But I guess we'll see next year if your school is one of the schools that start doing this, you know. And I guess there's also several rules about washing your hands, which is like we've been hearing that for months now. Yeah, wash your hands. I feel like the talk about the virus is pretty much over. Everyone has said what they feel needs to be said. And also I feel like states are at least starting to open up now. And you know, people are going out sometimes. The new cases per day in my state at least are decreasing, so I hope that continues. And yeah, so everyone's made a video on Corona, but I just wanted to talk about the CDC guidelines. I guess we're supposed to listen to them, but like no one's listening. I've barely seen anyone talk about this. Here I am talking about it. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed You can like the video or not. I mean, I'm not the CDC. You don't have to listen to me. I also appreciate all my 16 subscribers, so that is very cool. Let's try to hit 17. Let's go. Feel free to subscribe. That'd be cool. And I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.